working? Yeah. Well, let's move to the topic of today's class. Have a great weekend, Alani. And think about the bell work. We're going to get back to this later. Quick review about addition of rational expressions with unlike denominators. When we talk about unlike denominators, that means different denominators. Different denominators, because we know how to do addition and subtraction if the denominators are the same. You just repeat the denominators and you add or subtract the numerators, and then if you find the answer, remember? But if they are unlike, how do we do? How can we find the answer? And that's what we worked yesterday. Actually, we have been working on the, several steps as a preparation for yesterday. 2 days ago, we worked on how to find the least common denominator, and before yesterday, we worked on how to find the equivalent rational expressions, and then yesterday we tried to put this together and do a few of these steps to solve the addition or subtraction of fractions or rational expressions with different denominators. There's an example here so you can remember. Check this out. We will subtract these rational expressions here. X over x plus 3 minus 5 over x minus 2. And you will agree with me, they have different denominators, right? One denominator is x plus 3, another denominator is x minus 2. The first step to solve it is to find the least common denominator. And we will find it by first writing down here all the unique factors. The unique factors that we can see are x plus 3 times x minus 2. So those are the unique factors. Now check the exponents of these unique factors. You're going to write down here the highest exponents. Since we don't have any exponents, we can skip. You don't need this step, and we found the least common denominator is x plus 3 times x minus 2. Now we will find the equivalent rational expressions, because we will use the least common denominator on each one of these fractions or rational expressions. Check. The first one, it already have the factor x plus 3. The factor that's missing is x minus 2. So we'll multiply the bottom and the top of this expression by x minus 2. And then we will have at the end the denominator the same. The denominator equal to the least common denominator, right? Now check the second fraction, or the second rational expression. We have 5 over x minus 2. What's missing to have at the denominator the same thing as the least common denominator? Well, what's missing is x plus 3. See? The factor x plus 3. So multiply at the bottom and multiply at the top x plus 3. Now you have two rational expressions that are equivalent to the original ones. They are equivalent. And they have the same denominator. When we have the same denominator, we can apply the knowledge we have we worked before, and we just need to add the numerators, the new numerators, the numerators that we found by multiplying these missing factors here. So those are the numerators that we have to add or subtract. In this case here we are subtracting. You need to get rid of the parentheses using distributive property, and after that you combine like terms, and after that you have the result. Eventually you're going to have common factors you can simplify by canceling or by dividing, canceling the common factors from the numerator and denominator. Today we're not going to do this step. We're just going to find the numerator, and that's it. We're not going to apply the last step. And that's it. That's how you find the answer, how we work out a question about adding or subtracting rational expressions that have different denominators. Look on the next slide, the step by step, and we will work today. We need to factor out, if they are not factored out yet, you have to factor out the denominators and of all the rational expressions that you have. You need to identify the least common denominator, and then we will rewrite each rational expression as an equivalent with the new denominator, and finally we will add or subtract the numerators. We're not going to do step 5 today. Sometimes you need to do step 5, sometimes you don't have common factors, you don't need to do, but today we're not going to work on step 5. We're going to try to understand and work on each one of these steps from 1 to 4. Any questions about the review? Any questions about this quick review? If you don't have questions, let me show a quick example, and then let's jump into the practice, into the quiz, so we can work several questions here together, okay? Let me show this quick example. We want to subtract 2 over t squared minus 4 minus 5 over 2t plus 4. First step is to factor out each denominator. So check if they are not factored out yet, if they can be factored out. That's what you're going to do. And just repeating here what we have, 2 over t squared minus 4 minus 5 over 2t plus 4. Cool? Check if you can, the first one, t squared minus 4. Can you factor out anything? And we can rewrite this 4 as a 2 squared. So we can see, we can identify that this is a special case. We've been working on some kind of on things like that a lot. Remember the formulas from chapter 4? Difference of perfect squares. We can rewrite this as t minus 2 times t plus 2. Okay? If you don't trust me, check the formula, difference of perfect squares, and you're gonna find out that this is going to be true. Keep the numerator. The next, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. The next one, we're gonna factor out completely the next denominator. So keep the numerator and check. We can factor out number 2. 2 times t plus 2 is the same thing as 2t plus 4. Great, because now we need to find the least common denominator. Check the denominators that we have. Now they are factored out. And identify each unique factor. One of the unique factors is number 2. Another unique factor is t minus 2. And another unique factor is t plus 2. We have on both denominators, but you just need to write here once. The last step, to find least common denominator, check the exponents. The highest exponent you're going to keep. So since we don't have an exponent, just skip this step. The whole thing, the whole calculations here is too hard, too complicated, too confusing. At the end, the answer is the whole, is this rational expression here, the complete answer. The complete answer is the rational expression. And let me write again at the bottom. Let me write again just to make sure you understand. The answer is negative 5t plus 14 over 2 times t minus 2 times t plus 2. Okay? This is the complete answer. Here at the top, you have the new numerator. We're going to call this new numerator for now, new numerator, or the resulting numerator. And here at the bottom is the least common denominator. Okay? On the quiz today, I need you to answer. On the first part of the quiz, you're going to find the least common denominator. On the second part of the quiz, you're going to find the new or the resulting numerator. Okay? We're going to split. We're going to work in step by step, but slowly, so you can understand. You can get to know, to understand the whole thing. Any questions? Let me show the whole thing here. Yes. Any questions at all? If you are still confused about the whole process, don't worry, because we will practice, we will work during the quiz, and maybe you're going to be able to understand, because we will increase the level of difficulty very slowly. We're going to start with some easy questions and gradually increasing the difficulty level. If you have any specific question, tell me now. If you don't have, let's wait when we practice on the quiz, and you can ask me questions as well. Okay, any specific question, anything that you want to ask now? If you agree, you don't have a specific question, if you don't have, you know, you might still be confused a little bit, but we will be clearing this when we work together. Let's move to the practice round. But before, send me a message with the answer of the bell work. How can you find the equation true? And you can use each math symbol just once. You can use 1 plus, 1 minus, 1 multiplication, and 1 division. You just need to find the right order that makes this equation a true equation, a true statement. What do you think? How can you figure this out? Send me your messages now. So the answer for the bell work is this. 3 plus 2 divided by 1 equals 5. And 3 times 2 minus 1 equals 5 as well. So you have 5 equals 5. You also can flip, can switch sides. It's the same thing. Just make sure when you answer on forms, you use the right format. You type the whole equation like I'm showing right here. Okay? That is the answer for our bell work. Now let's move on to the quiz. Starting with letter B, we are trying to find the least common denominator on the first part of the quiz. And the first step is to factor out, just forget the numerators. Let's work only on the denominators. Factor out all the denominators. The first we cannot factor out, that's it. 5 times a squared times b. And the second one, 10, we can factor out 10. 10 is 2 times 5 times a times b. So we factored completely all the denominators. Now let's find the least common denominator. Each unique factor, write down here each unique factor. One unique factor is 2, another unique factor you have on both is 5, another unique factor you have on both denominators is a, and another unique factor also on both denominators, b. The last step, check the exponents. We're going to use the highest exponent for each unique factor. And we just have an exponent on A. The highest exponent is 2. The answer is 10 times A squared B. This is the lowest common denominator. Now, move to the second part of the quiz. You found one of the least common denominators. Now we're going to check the question that have the same expressions, the same rational expressions. It is one. And you're going to use here the least common denominator you just found, 10a squared b, right? This is the least common denominator. Compare with each numerator that you have here. Well, compare with 5a squared times b. What is the factor that's missing to be equal to the least common denominator? Well, the factor that's missing, and you can divide to find out, but the factor that's missing is 2. If you multiply by 2, you have 10a squared b. You have to multiply by 2 on the bottom and on the top to make the equation equivalent. Now check the next one. We have 10ab. Can you spot the difference? 10ab and 10a squared b. So the square is a difference. We need to multiply this by a. If you multiply, you're going to have 10a squared b. Okay, but you have to multiply on the bottom and on the top to have equivalent rational expressions. The new numerator is going to be 2 times 6. 2 times 6 minus a times 1. The new numerator equals 2 times 6, 12, minus a times 1, a. That is the answer. And you need to find first the least common denominator. That is going to be on G. And actually you have here the denominators are already factored out. You don't need to factor out the denominators, they are good. You just need to find the least common denominator by identifying the unique factors. And we have b and b, so b is a unique factor. And we have b plus 5. b plus 5 is another unique factor. The least common denominator is b times b plus 5. Apply, use this least common denominator on letter M. See, it's the same expression, the same thing. So, least common denominator, b times b plus 5. Cool? Compare this least common denominator with the first one. Hey, they are the same. You don't need to multiply, you don't need to complete anything. You can write just 1 times, just to show that we didn't forget 1 time, because they the first denominator have all the same factors as the least common denominator. But the second one, there's something missing. Check it out. We have just b, and the least common denominator is b times b plus 5. b plus 5 is missing, so we will multiply times b plus 5 at the bottom, and multiply at the top times b plus 5 as well. b plus 5 at the top and at the bottom. Okay? Just make sure you understand what we're doing here. We are we are making the denominators the same. We are finding the equivalent rational expression. So the numerators, the new numerators are 1 times 10 plus b plus 5 times what? Times 2. The new numerator equals 1 times 10, 10, plus b times 2, 2b, 5 times 2, 10. 2b plus 20. Okay? Letter N. For letter N, we have to solve letter H. And this is kind of simple as well, because look, the denominators, they are already factored out. We don't need to factor out the denominators. We just need to find the unique factors. And we have W, one unique factor. We have W minus 2, another unique factor. That means the least common denominator is W times W minus 2. Apply on letter N, least common denominator. W times W minus 2. Compare with the denominators that you have on the expression. You have W times W minus 2. It doesn't miss anything. It's the same, it's equal, and this makes our life easier. But the second one is missing. W minus 2 is missing. Can you see? We just have W. We don't have W minus 2. So multiply W minus 2 at the bottom. Multiply W minus 2 at the top. The new numerator is 1 times 6 plus W minus 2 times 3. The new numerator equals 1 times 6, 6. 3 times W, 3W. 3 times negative 2, negative 6. And simplify. The answer is 3W. Okay, thank you, Chiara. M and N. Let's zoom out, check all the answers we have so far. We have lots of answers, yes. Cool. Bye, Kion, Jonalie, bye-bye, Jada, Jonathan, Alexander, Chiara, Elvin, Alondra, bye-bye, Jonalie. Have a nice weekend.